And I go, hey, I go, LT, what's going on? What am I in the hole for? He goes, I guess you were jacking off in your cell. I says, what?
Hi, I'm Larry Lawton, America's biggest jewel thief. Join me as I walk you through my past robberies, how I planned them, executed them, and ultimately got caught. I'm going to show you how we did things in prison, like making a tattoo gun, making wine, making white lightning. It's going to be very educational. These are the Untold Stories.
Hey everybody, Larry Lawton here for another edition of Untold Stories. This one's going to be a little different and a little wild. But before we get started, I want everybody to make sure they check out our member program here on YouTube and also on Patreon. It's really some good stuff in there, and I really want you to check it out. It's all in the description below. Just click on the description. There's a lot of great links in there, from Instagram to Facebook to our book still, stuff like that. Check out the description. All right, this untold story come to me because I was talking to somebody about, I know it's a crazy subject, masturbation. You're all looking at me. I know everybody's going wild saying, what is he talking about? Well, in prison, and I mentioned this in one of my Gangster Redemption videos, that I went to the hole for masturbation. Yes, I know you're thinking, what are you talking about? You were in prison and you went to the hole for jerking off? Yeah, I know that sounds crazy, but that's exactly what happened. And let me explain the whole story and why I actually got things done in prison to help other inmates out. Obviously, we find out there's a policy in the prison, the Bureau of Prisons, that you're not allowed to masturbate. Figure that out. You're a man, you're in prison, you're alone, and you can't masturbate? Well, let's face it, everybody masturbates, so it's just a subject that you can't deny. At least I can't, and I'm sure everybody out there can as well. But let me tell you how it happened and what happened and why I went to the hole. I actually went to the hole for 30 days for masturbating. Yes, 30 days in isolation for doing something that's natural and everybody does, jerk off. So let me tell you what happened. I was in my cell, and I was in Edgefield, and I was in the prison. Now, obviously, they didn't like me in this prison, so they're kind of out to get me. But I'm in the prison. I'm alone in my cell, and I don't know it at the time. I was in my cell, and it was about 1 o'clock in the morning, give or take, 12:30, 1, something like that. And I was reading a pornographic magazine, and obviously the urge come to me, so what do? I jack off. Don't think anything of it. Doesn't take long. We all know that. And I completed my act, if you want to call it that, and I turned the lights out. I went to bed. All of a sudden, about, I don't know, I get woken up. I couldn't have been more than an hour late. I get woken up, and there's the guards at the door. Now, this is at night, so all the prison cells are locked down. They're actually in lockdown. So in the units, everybody's in their cell locked down. And the guard comes up to the cell and says, hey, Lawton. And there's a door. You got the doors. You don't have sparse cells. It's the door, and they got a window. And he says, hey, Lawton, lock up. What do you mean lock up? When they say lock up, that means they want you to get up, put your hands behind your back, and all the doors, even in the units, they have what they call a chute in them. It's the food chute where they put food through. So they want me to put my hands behind my back. They're going to cuff me up. Then they open the door, and and I'm wondering, what do you mean lock up? Why am I getting locked up? They said, lock up. They don't tell you much. So I get up. They open the chute door. They put me in handcuffs, and they start walking me towards the hole. Now, the hole's outside your unit, of course. You got your units. You had 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 units. I think it was A, B, and C. And then you go to where the segregation is. They call it seg. Add seg first, and then they have disciplinary segregation in the same building there. But you're going to segregation. You're going to the SHU. Special Housing Unit is the actual acronym they use. We all know it as the hole. So all of a sudden, I'm heading to the hole, and I look up at my buddy's cell, Paulie, great guy, and he looked up, and he's looking down at me, and it's like, you can see him shrug his shoulder. I go, what? And I'm thinking, at this point, somebody told on me for something. Maybe a football ticket I was running, maybe doing legal work or fighting the prison. I don't know what I'm getting locked up for. So I get to the hole. I get there, and when you get to the hole, you go into a little cage. When I say a cage, I mean, it looks like a phone booth. It's all bars all around. Totally, it literally looks like a phone booth. I know not many people know what a phone booth is today, but it's literally a 3-foot by 3-foot cage with a door. That's it. And you get in there, and they say strip. So you take all your clothes off, and you throw them through. They have a little hole in the door too, and you throw it through. And then they look at your clothes. They check in, make sure you have you're buck naked. You're standing there, and then they do the whole thing. All right, raise your hands, open your mouth, stick your tongue out, lift up, down, turn around, lift your scrotum first. They look under, turn around, spread your ass. And you go, and this is kind of standard practice, so it's like I'm still, what the hell am I in the hole for? They're not saying anything to me. So all of a sudden the lieutenant, or the guard on duty, but there was a lieutenant who was the head of the shoe, he comes and he goes, hey Lawton, and I go, LT, what's going on? What am I in the hole for? He goes, I guess you were jacking off in your cell. I says, what? What are you talking about? He goes, hey, you got caught jacking off in your cell. I go, what are you talking about? I mean, yeah, I jack off in my cell. What do you want me to do? And he goes, well, you're in the hole for jacking off in your cell. And I'm still like, are you kidding me? What is going on here? I'm in prison, and I masturbate in my own cell, and now I'm going up to the hole? Anyway, he's laughing, and a couple other guards are there. They know me. I've been in and out of the hole. They know I don't like the prison, and obviously I'm writing letters to senators and congressmen and public officials, and I'm suing the prison. I'm doing a bunch of stuff that they really don't like. Obviously, you all know I exposed the deaths of the prison, killing 3 of my friends, and that breaks my heart when I just thought about that, but that's what happens. So I go to my cell. I'm in the cell, and at this time they put me in my own cell, and I get they give you a bedroll. So they give you a bedroll with a little bag, and it's got a little toothpaste, a little toothbrush. It's got a little bar of soap, and they give you a bedroll. And now you're cuffed up again. You have to recuff up, and they walk you to your cell. So they walk me to my cell. They uncuff me. The first thing I used to do when I went into a cell, and I know this sounds crazy, I would clean that cell like it was the Taj Mahal. I mean, I would clean it from head to toe. I would literally get on my hands and knees, take toilet paper, paper towels. I'd ask them for some cleaning stuff. Usually they'd give you that. And I would literally be on my hands and knees cleaning this cell, because I don't know who lived in this pig hole before I did. And I would clean it up totally. I mean, make it really nice and get it all set. And I'd make my bunk, and I would get in bed, and that was it. So now they wake you for breakfast. They wake you for breakfast about 6 in the morning. And you hear, chow time, and you hear the cell door opening. All the holes have what they call tiers. So there'd be a tier of cells, and then they lock that tier door. Then there's another tier of cells, and they'd lock that tier. Well, you'd hear them open up, and then they'd say, chow time. So you'd get up, you're all groggy, and they're opening the door, and they're laying a tray right on that open chute door. They lay the tray, and you... Of course, what do? I start the process. I still am like in shock. Like, what do you mean I'm in the hole for jacking off? I still don't even understand it. And I'm really not thinking that's the truth. I think there's more to it. Still to this day, I think there was more to it. So anyway, the first thing I do is, they give you a couple of milks, little milk cartons. So I take those milk cartons and I drink the milk, but I don't put them back on the tray for trash. Because you put your tray back on that thing and they'll come by and they'll pick up trash. I don't put those there. I keep those milk cartons, because what did I do? I used to be able to make coffee in a hole with nothing. As you saw in one of my videos, I made fire. I will actually boil water in a milk container and make hot coffee in the hole, which I will do again on a video. But anyway, I take my chow and now I'm sitting there. I'm getting acclimated to the hole immediately. I've been in the hole a bunch of times. I know what it is. I know what to expect. And I know how it works. Meaning, I'm going to start getting my razor blades. I'm going to start getting a paper, pen, see who's the guard on, start getting my property, bitching at him. I need my property. Because when you go to the hole, they take you out of your cell. You're on your way to the hole. Immediately there's a guard in your cell, strip searching your cell. They take everything you own and they put it in a garbage bag. Literally, a big, clear garbage bag. They put everything in there. They don't care about how, organized you might have been in your locker. All you get in your cell is a locker. And I mean a locker that's about 3 feet, 4 feet high. And it's got a couple of shelves. And the other one is, a full locker. And you keep your clothes in there, your underwear, and you keep your, your shorts and your socks, and all you have is a couple of shorts and a couple of pair of pants, that prison issue stuff. But everything that's in your cell, they take out, and this goes for your legal work, goes for your cups, your bowl, your radio, the little stuff that you start taking, wow, this is really mine. This is important. I need this. I know it sounds crazy. But a Coffee Mate coffee cup, the white coffee with the red top, it's called a Coffee Mate coffee cup. That's like, wow, that's my coffee cup. Don't mess with my coffee cup. Also, your bowl. Your bowl is like, wow, I got a bowl. It's my cooking bowl. It's a microwave, microwave-ready bowl. But those things mean a lot. Obviously, your legal work is paramount. That's what you really want. So here I am in the hole. I'm bitching them already. Hey, where's my property? Usually takes a day to get your property, but they'll get your property and they'll go through your property, and then they'll give you your legal work. They don't give you everything. When you go to the hole, it's not like, oh, okay, give him everything that's in his cell and put it in the hole. It's not like that. They only give you your legal work. Depending on what part of the hole you're in, you can have a radio. I was in what they call ADSEG. They put you in administrative segregation before you have to go for a disciplinary hearing. When you go to the hole, they have to give you what they call a shot. We called it a shot or a prison infraction. Call it anything you want. And then on that shot, it's what you were written up for. Maybe you cursed out a guard. Maybe you got caught stealing out of the kitchen. Maybe you did something, you got caught with paraphernalia or contraband, something you're not allowed to have. Whatever it is, they write you up and it's called a shot. And sure enough, the first thing, within 24 hours, they have to give you why you're in the hole. So they slide the shot under your door, and now you can pick it up and you read why you're in the hole. Sure enough, I'm in the hole for masturbating in my cell, in my bunk, alone, at 12 o'clock, 12:30 at night. Apparently what happened was I was doing my business on my bunk, having fun if you want to call it, and they did a count, they call it. Now when your light is on in your cell, you can't see out of your cell. It's black out there. You can't see. It's totally, you don't even know if anybody's out there or what they're doing. Your cell light's on. And you could keep your light on at the cell. You can have it on or off, and you could tell the guard to turn it on or off. But my light's on, and I was reading my porn magazine, did my business, went to bed, didn't think anything of it. Apparently, they went by and counted, and they saw me masturbating. So now they see me in my bunk masturbating. Now I'm getting in trouble. How many people in prison do you think are jacking off every night? Every night. Are you kidding me? Forget jacking off. Who's fucking who in prison? I mean, this is just, it's ludicrous. And the more I think about it, the more I'm getting upset because I'm saying, I really went to the hole for jacking off. But there's a good part to the story. So anyway, what does Larry Lawton do? Larry Lawton's not laying down for anybody. I know what I'm going to do. My unit manager comes by. Now, when you're in the hole, they come by your cell and they ask you, hey, Lawton, how you doing? Again, I used to get so mad at that. How the fuck you think I'm doing? I'm in the hole. I'm in the hole. So my counselor come by and I asked my counselor, I says, what's going on? I said, am I really in here for this shot? And I'm showing him the shot at the door. He goes, yeah, Lawton. He's like kind of like giving me that, like, what can I do about it? Now, my first thought was, they're screwing with me. They're trying to get me for anything they can because they know I'm fighting the prison. There was a warden in this prison named Lamana. This prick was out to get me in any way he can because I had kept exposing him as the brutal brutal person he was and a brutal place the prison was when they killed 3 of my friends. And you all know about those stories. And I'll talk about them more. But at this point, I'm in the hole. And I asked my counsel's like, yeah, I know. He goes, you got to go to disciplinary hearing. Now, that's called you have to go to a disciplinary hearing while you're in the hole. So they have a DHO, disciplinary hearing officer, who hears cases like every week. Like on a Friday, they'll hear your case. So if you go to the hole on a Thursday, they're not hearing your case the next day. You're on the, so to speak, the docket for the next Friday. So anyway, and you could get a defense. You never win. It's a joke. If they give you a shot, you're getting some kind of infraction. You're going to get some kind of sanction. And your sanctions could be anywhere from a week in a hole, 30 days in a hole, 60 days in a hole, loss of commissary, loss of visitation, number of things, loss of good time. There really is no good times in the feds. You get 85% of your time. You have to do 85%. So that means if you get a 10-year sentence in the Federal Bureau of Prisons, you're going to do 8.5 years if you're a choir boy. And trust me, nobody's a choir boy. You're going to lose some good time for fighting. If you get an infraction for fighting, whether you're right or wrong, a guy attacks you, you fight back, you're still going to get a shot for fighting. And you're going to go to the hole, and you're going to lose good time. Just the way the prison system is, it's wrong, and that's why I feel for young kids, because they think, oh, I'm a tough guy. First of all, you're not a tough guy. Second, you're going to end up losing good time, so you're going to do your time. So anyway, my hearing officer says, hey, you got the next Friday, okay, I got prepared. So what do? What does Larry do? He doesn't lay down. I got my property now, and I got my legal books. That's important. You're allowed to have your legal books. So what do? I start studying my legal books. What's the prison policy on masturbation? What's the federal law on masturbation? This is what I'm looking up. So I go to my disciplinary hearing officer, but in the meantime, I'm knowing everything you can think about what happens to a person who masturbates in prison. And believe it or not, there is a policy that says you can't masturbate. Don't even ask me who made that policy, who enforces that policy. That's even worse. And I'm going to do something about it. You could look this up, because I'll never forget. Look it up. Look me up in the Federal Bureau of Prisons, or you can look me up in the federal court system. Some of you guys I know are real good with computers. And you will look up a federal case of Lawrence Lawton, 52224-004. I sued the Federal Bureau of Prisons, the warden, the Attorney General of the United States. I think at the time it was Alberto Gonzalez. At this time, either him or Ashcroft, but I think it was Gonzalez. And I sued them for illegal incarceration to a person for masturbating in prison. What do? They start messing with me. First of all, at that point, while I was in that prison, they're going to put me in for transfer. Because once they put you in for transfer, you're done. But they didn't put me in for transfer quick enough. I ended up getting my lawsuit in. I went to the disciplinary hearing officer. When I went to the disciplinary hearing officer, you're guilty. And I actually said to the guy, I'll never forget it. I said, you're putting me in the hole. You're giving me an infraction. You're going to take my good time for jacking off in prison. For something that every person over the age of 12 or 13 does. You're going to do that to me. You're going to put me in prison for this. You're going to actually give me an infraction. Well, they don't care what you say. They know what they're going to do beforehand. Because the DHO in prison is all a bullshit game. They want to just play the game that we're being legit to people. We're giving them their fair due process. Because by the law, when they take your good time away, they have to do that legally. Because you're taking a man's liberty. So they can't just take it for nothing. So they come up with something and give you a charge and then take your good time. So they took 27 days away from me for doing this, for masturbating in prison. And I'm just in shock thinking about that as a man to this day who doesn't do that. Who does it? But I'm saying who doesn't do that. So anyway, I end up doing my time in the hole. I get out of the hole and I go to my buddy Paulie. Paul Tellini's To this day, I can mention his name. He says I could. He's a great friend. One of the great guys in prison. Stand-up guy. Did the law work. Helped numerous people. To this day, he still does that. He's out. He ended up doing 30 years in prison. 30 years. He went to prison in 1989. When he got out, I picked him up from the airport. We're great friends to this day. And Paulie knows how I used to fight the prison system. He used to love it. He used to do more of the legal work. I did a lot of fighting the prison. Did legal work with him. But I really fought the prison system. And I went on. I knew what they call the CFR, which is Code of Federal Regulations. I knew everything you needed to know about the Code of Federal Regulations on what it meant for this. So I sued the prison. I even got a doctor from the outside to write a letter saying it is healthy to masturbate. Any man over 40 years old, they say it is healthy to masturbate or ejaculate to keep a healthy prostate. And so I got a letter written for that and everything, and I sued them. So what did they do to me? At that point, now this is taking a while. I'm still at Edgefield. What did they do to me? They transferred me. Why'd they transfer me? So they could lose my legal work. They could get rid of all my property and get rid of Lawton, the problem guy again. But I wasn't a problem guy. I was just a guy that knew the law, knew what I was doing, and wanted to fight them in any way I can for everybody else. I mean, it's so ludicrous to think on the face of this. So you could look up the whole case in the legal books right now. Just go online, look up federal law cases, and you could type my name in, and you're going to see a lawsuit of me suing the prison for masturbation, for taking my civil rights for masturbation. I actually sued. So what happens? They time me out, but it's not all dead. They change the policy, or not physically, because they won't admit losing, but they won't put you in the hole for that anymore. They won't come to your cell and just get you out of your cell for masturbation. Can they still legally do it for a person they don't like? You know they can do it. They do it all the time. They don't play fair. The prison system is broke. We all know that. Everybody who watches my channel knows the Bureau of Prisons is broke beyond repair, and it needs to be fixed. And this incident of me masturbating in prison and going to the hole and losing my liberty, losing freedom for doing something that everyone who watches my channel does. I guarantee that. I don't care if you're a girl or a guy, you're doing that. It's human nature. And it was kind of funny on this because obviously I wrote about this on my website. If you go to my website, realitycheckprogram.com, and you go under the newsletters, you could read about all of that, because I wrote a whole article about it. Because I had an official in this county who I didn't like, thought he had something bad over me. And I tell people, listen to me, I am who I am. You could not like me. You could think I'm an asshole. You could think I'm cool. You do whatever you want. Whatever the deal is, I know I'm a straight up shooter. I don't care that you know that I did that. Big deal. It's not wrong. To this day, I will argue and debate this to anybody. And I want to look a dude in the face who says, oh, that's wrong. I want to know you, because you're a jerk off yourself. And you need to jerk off because there's something wrong with shit in your brain. But you probably got too much cum built up in your brain. But it just boggles my mind how they can do that to people in prison. And the reason I came up to tell you the story, exactly what happened, was because I was talking to my team and I started telling them about it, and they were like, oh my God. And when I did that, I said, you know what? I'm going to do an untold story on that, because people have to know what goes on in prison and how sick they are in prison. I'm talking to the officials. I'm talking about John LaManna, who I sued. And I don't care that I mention his name, because he's a piece of garbage. He's a dude that put his foot on people's necks and doesn't care about people at all, because this man was a warden who was out to get me, who I had officials who I know their name, who told me, he used to mention me in the meetings and say, we got to get that guy. So, I mean, because I was the one who was writing senators, writing congressmen, getting officials in trouble because they were doing such illegal and killing people. I'm telling you, they killed 3 of my friends in prison. And it was through medical. And it breaks my heart to think of those 3 dudes that are never getting home. And they didn't even have life sentences. So it's not like they were, destined to live their lives in prison, and people don't care. And they had wives, and they had family, and a mother and a father, and they had kids, and they're dead because nobody gave a shit about them. And I'm not going to ever not say what I think is right to say. I'm a believer in this saying on this shirt. In my merch, this shirt, I don't believe in bad people, I believe in bad choices. That is so true. But there are people who are bad, and sometimes it's not the psychopath in prison, who I do know are bad. Trust me, there are people in prison I never want to get out. But there are people who are out of prison running some of these facilities and some of these guards that are so vindictive, so sadistic, that they make the inmates look like normal people. And, I'm going to have a group session. I'm going to interview a couple of guys who were in prison with me, and we're going to talk about some of these situations because they need to come out. And I had to get this off my chest. So all you guys out there are jacking off, good for you. Have fun, because it's the right thing to do. Who doesn't do that? Come on, man. Get with it. Man, it's blowing my mind about thinking I actually went to the hole for jacking off. And people think that's wrong. I have officials here in the county I live who don't like me because I'm exposing them for the frauds they are. And someone said, oh, I know he masturbated in prison. Yeah, so what? Big fucking deal. I masturbated in prison. Oh my God. Oh man, it gets me wild. Anyway, I just wanted to express that untold story to you guys. And, stories like this are going to keep coming. I know it's wild, but it's going to keep coming. Thanks for watching, guys. You know how much I appreciate you guys, all of you. Make sure you keep passing the word about our channel. Please keep helping us build this channel to be the best channel on YouTube. I still have some books left. I just wrote number 2709, maybe. I think that's the book number I'm up to. So we still have approximately 300 books. And I'm going to tell you a secret. I have a few more because I kept certain numbers out. But I'll explain that at a later date. All you members, you're going to get some more stuff, special chat, stuff like that. Check that out. Guys, check the script out. Check the description out, man. It's some great stuff in that description. From Twitter, you'll see pictures of me, the family, stuff like that. If you have any ideas for us, if you want me to touch on a subject, just email us. You know how to get hold of us. Either the comments or email us at Larry@realitycheckprogram.com, Peter@realitycheckprogram.com. And we'll get what you're saying, and we might do a video on it or at least mention it. Thanks again, everybody. I really appreciate all you're sticking with us. I hope you're staying safe during this coronavirus. Please listen to your officials, the ones that are getting to you guys, because I hope they are. But please, guys, man, we all want this to end as quick as we can. I want to get on the road. I want to do a tour, and I can't wait to start my prison cooking show. But I need my guests. That's the key. So we're going to be doing a bunch of stuff. Keep watching. Stay safe, everybody. Come on, make good choices. I don't want to see you in prison. I don't want to see anybody in prison. I love talking to you guys this way. I love connecting with people. Much love and respect from here. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching.